Hello, my name is Thad Sykes with NextGear Capital, and today I'm extremely excited to continue our way forward discussion with Erin Lomax from Autotrader. Erin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Thad. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining me. Today is especially exciting because, as we know, 2020 has been a challenging year. Adversity builds character, and we've had an enormous amount of character defining moments this year. But our industry has responded with resiliency, with tenacity, and despite rising prices and a shortage of inventory, we're still navigating through this crisis, and it's been very rewarding and fulfilling. One of the bright spots has been the innovation and the products that have been released to really help our dealers pave the way forward during this global pandemic. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about Dealer Home Services, a product that was released by AutoTrader earlier this year. And I'm curious to hear what the feedback has been from consumers as well as our dealers with this very innovative product.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our dealer home services that launched in March really launched within 2 weeks of much of the nation coming to a halt. Whether that was because, state laws and regulations were enforcing stay-at-home orders, or consumers just didn't feel comfortable going into a dealership or meeting a car seller, and they were still in market and wanted to purchase virtually. And so we really rolled up our sleeves to think about how can we safely connect consumers and dealers during this trying time, and what are the easy ways that we can do this and enable our dealer base. And so
Sure.
yeah, that it came across. The dealer's home services has several features. The main ones that I think really played a huge role throughout the pandemic and are continuing to play a major role is we have our virtual walk around, where a consumer can get a virtual walk around from the dealer, right, and have that strong engagement without actually going into the dealership. The second one is we're getting a test drive delivery at home. And then the
Right.
third one is just getting your car delivered to your house if you wanted to purchase it, and those have all been incredibly popular throughout this time as we look at consumer engagement, as we look at dealer adoption. Today, we have over 13,000 dealers enrolled in dealer home services. So that's significant. And that's, you think about our site, we have over 2.6 million vehicles that offer dealer home services. And it's super important in this time because consumers just are not aware that dealers are offering these services. I think as we as an industry continue to communicate to consumers and use, big brands like AutoTrader and Kelley Blue Book to communicate that to consumers as well, that, hey, you can get these services today. You don't necessarily have to go into a dealership to purchase the traditional way. You can if that's how you want to purchase, but the majority of dealers that we're talking to, they're wanting to meet the needs of consumers today, and they also want to operate safely and keep themselves safe.
Absolutely. Well, that's fascinating that the product has multiple features. So in addition to being able to deliver the vehicle at the consumer's home site, also to be able to test drive the vehicle and deliver it to the home site and provide remote maintenance services. What I found that's interesting is that research has indicated that consumers are comfortable beginning the vehicle purchasing process online. But I think with what we've experienced this year, it's really accelerated that adoption. And recent research has indicated that 2 in 3 consumers are actually comfortable completing 100% of the vehicle purchase online, which I think is just incredible, right? There's the perception that, no, I need to touch the car. I need to actually walk around it and interact with someone. So to see adoption accelerate at such a rapid rate is incredible. But the benefits and the features are more extensive than just delivery services. I think you've shared with me that you've seen an increase in conversions as well as an increase in leads as well, too. Is that correct?
Yes, that's absolutely right. Like if you look at the dealers that are opting into dealer home services, they're getting on average 19% more leads than dealers who are not. And then
Wow.
those leads are closing at a 22% higher close rate for them. So
Wow.
that's significant if you think about differentiating yourself and your dealership, as well as ensuring consumers know what services you're offering. And I think the stats that we're seeing are just very telling, right? That if you're meeting the needs of consumers, you're going to have, and we as AutoTrader are helping to qualify them at every step along the way, that you're going to get the right consumers in that want the right services based on what you're offering.
That is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So I just have one final question for you. At NextGear Capital, our niche is the independent dealer. And we've seen some independent dealers that have been extremely agile, and they've been able to adapt to this environment and embrace digital solutions. And then some that have been resistant and had difficulty embracing a digital retailing strategy. So I want to hear what your outlook is for the future. Do you think these types of tools will be an absolute requirement for viability and solvency within the industry? You mentioned the word differentiator and giving a competitive advantage. Do you feel that it'll be a requirement or just a nice enhancement if you want to be able to provide digital retailing solutions?
Yeah. My perspective is on this is that, and this is whether you're a franchise dealer or an independent dealer, right? And as you were talking about, such a focus on independent dealers, we have almost 3,500 independent dealers on dealer home services as well. So the performance there is significant. So we're seeing a lot of great success overall. And I think no matter what type of seller you are,
Yeah.
these types of services will be required moving forward. I think I saw a stat recently that said over the past 4 months, 70% of car sales have been in some way, shape, or form digital, right? And so that could be we made a deal over text and then it was delivered to my house and I did a DocuSign or, signed a clipboard at home. Like I think, and it's been so amazing to see the industry and how overall everybody's kind of rallied around this and how we've accelerated ourselves into the future. And then, how dealers have adopted to this change as well. But to see that like 70% of car transactions are happening, there's some type of digital component to it, or happening in some way, shape, or form virtually, is amazing, right? And I do think to what you were saying about 2 in 3 consumers want to transact online. Right. I don't, that speaks for itself. Consumers are not going to change their demands on the automotive industry, right? I think now that we've shown consumers we have the ability to offer these features and meet them, where they feel safe, or whether it's what safety or convenient for them, they're going to demand this. And so I think it's critical for all dealers as they look at their path forward to determine like what is their strategy for meeting consumers where they're at, and how are they activating against this, because I don't think it's going away. We've seen fluctuation in our research over the last several months as the COVID numbers have gone up and down and up and down. Right. As the COVID numbers start to go back down, we see dealer sentiment towards some of these products soften, and they start to think, well, maybe I don't need that. Maybe I don't need to offer these services. Maybe I need to staff more in store instead of focus on virtual delivery. And those are real challenges that we're facing as an industry as we determine, what changes do we need to make moving forward. But I think, cutting virtual services probably isn't going to be an option. It's everybody has to figure out their virtual strategy, because we as consumers want everything, when we want it, how we want it. And now that we've shown that we can do it, it will not go away.
That's incredible, awesome insight. I thank you for that. Thank you so much for your time today. I think it's imperative that in order to thrive in this environment, our dealers have to embrace these types of innovative solutions. One thing I want to clarify, these products are free for all AutoTrader clients. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely free. So if you have not signed up and you're not taking advantage of these tools, I think it's an absolute requirement to differentiate yourself and really scale your business and thrive in this environment. Thank you so much for your time today, Erin. You take care.
Thank you.